Welcome to Kumba Software DPAA tutorials. This tutorial is about showing object references, which is something you can do within the appliances. There's a little bit different in the way that DPAA shows you the references, and there's a unique thing that you can do in DPAA that you can't easily do within the appliances. So be sure to set your video playback to high definition, and though some visual details of DPAA may have changed since this video was created, the functionality will be the same. So what I'm going to do is I've already got some appliances and domains selected. I've already got a few object types selected, and I've listed those object types here in the object list under the Find Objects tab. I'm going to start with these two crypto identification credentials, just one in one appliance, one in the other appliance, so we can just see how this works. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke the hamburger menu, and I'm going to select Show References. So when I show the references, what we're going to get is we're going to get a screen that does pretty much what you can do by showing the status of an object in DataPower appliances. The difference is this works from the top down and it shows all the references it has. But there's one unique feature here that you don't get in DataPower, and that is this Show References takes you all the way down to the file level. So you can see the file that's being referenced by the objects in the tree. Now in this case I selected an identification credential which has a key and a cert, and then we can see in the key in the certificate file. But you can see it all the way down, and that's pretty cool, so you can see what file name is affected by the references of that object. So the other thing that we can do, which is something you cannot easily do in the appliances, I'm going to grab this load balancer group and I'm going to show you this is a pretty neat thing that I'm going to right mouse click. Now we could do this via the hamburger menu as well. I just like to show both in the videos. And I'm going to select Show Referenced By. And what this does is this does an opposite. So in other words, what we're going to see in the result of the output of this window or this feature is what is referencing the load balancer groups. Now there's some caveats to it. You're not going to see if a load balancer group is somehow dynamically referenced, that is referenced in a way that, it's not in the code or directly referenced to something like an XML manager, or it's in some other manner, then you're not going to see it in the list. But what it does show you, and it can be surprising sometimes when you see it, is that when you're looking at the load balancer group going up, and you notice how the arrows point upward, and again, we see these symbols in here, like we did in the other. And what these symbols mean is it's enabled, it's up, and it's saved. These symbols would be different if they weren't that way. For example, on this side of the screen, you see it's down. Even though it's enabled, it's down. Why is that? Because the referenced object is not up. But whatever the case may be, there's some referenced object that's not there, and that's fine too. And it can show you some surprising things. So when you start looking at that, you see, okay, this load balancer group is being referenced by this XML manager, which is being referenced by all three of these services. And on this side of the screen, in the other appliance, which can be somewhat surprising, is that this load balancer group is being referenced by a number of other objects, including other services in the different appliance than what the one appliance is. So you can get what's called an impact analysis. Basically, if you're going to change this load balancer group, what services or what other objects and things might you inadvertently affect? So it's very, very good to be able to see that. And again, you can do this at the file level. You can show what references a file and go all the way up, as long as that file is referenced by something directly in the configuration. Again, dynamic references includes various other things like that you're not going to be able to see, but this, as long as you do it within the configuration, and if you know me, you know I'm a big proponent of doing configuration based rather than code based work anyway in DataPower. And so at the end of the day, it's very, very cool that you can see these sorts of things and understand the impact analysis and what is being referenced by something else. So it's very powerful stuff, and that's all we have for this video. If you want to see more videos, go out to www.kumbasoft.com, go to the features and tutorials section, where you can see all of the tutorial videos available for the product. You can also do the contact us page to get a license or to make a suggestion or make a recommendation for us. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.